Coming up next, a rare interview with a rock singer-songwriter on a classic hit that started out as one thing and ended up making a seismic change worldwide. He wrote the song about depression, but it took years to finish. The lyrics were a little bit too similar to another number one song from long before, but after going through some really dark times, one day a metaphor, it just hit him right between the eyes, and he wrote the song that we know now in just a few minutes. And then the song's video would have even more impact. It helped solve crimes, and it saved actual lives. Get the story from him coming up next on Professor of Rock. Hey, music junkies, Professor of Rock, always here to celebrate the greatest artists and the greatest songs of all time. You know, if you've ever crimped your hair, had a perm, a mullet, or a mohawk, depending on who your favorite band was or is, you're going to dig this channel of nostalgia. Make sure that you subscribe below right now. Click the red button and then click the bell for the notification so you know when our new interviews drop. Also, check out our exclusive content on Patreon. I'm telling you, got some good stuff there that helps us keep it a daily channel and keep this history flowing here. So I'm excited to bring you yet another episode from our series Revelations, one of my favorite shows we do on here. This is where featured artists go deep on their greatest songs and their greatest albums. Rare insight that is not widely known, sometimes not known at all until now. Today I want to share an interview I did with a veteran of the famous Minneapolis scene. Back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and into the 90s, we actually used to have music scenes, right? Where amazing artists and bands would hit from the same area and put their geography on the musical map. It was really glorious. This doesn't happen much anymore. There was definitely something in the water in Minneapolis in the 80s. Prince and The Time were blowing up, and then the twin monsters of the Replacements and Husker Du, they were the kings of the underground, and then bands like Babes in Toyland and the Jayhawks, and today's focus, Soul Asylum, they were also sparking. Soul Asylum actually began their career opening for both the Replacements and Husker Du, but they would actually surpass both of them in commercial success when they became a defining voice of the 90s. Boy, I love both those bands, two of my favorites ever, the Replacements and Husker Du. Soul Asylum formed in 1981 in Minneapolis as Loud Fast Rules. That was the name of the band initially, with the lineup of singer guitarist Dave Pirner, co-lead guitarist Dan Murphy, bass guitarist Carl Mueller, and drummer Pat Morley. The band would change throughout the years as they changed their band name to Soul Asylum, and they recorded 3 albums with Twin Tone Records and then 2 with A&M. None of those brought them much commercial success, but they blew up in the early 90s when they released 1992's Grave Dancers Union. They had a song that Dave Pirner had been trying to finish for quite some time. So he wrote this song about depression, and he originally had the lyrics "Laughing in the Rain," which he felt that he couldn't use since they were too close to Laughter in the Rain, which had been a number one hit for Neil Sedaka in the 70s, one we've covered here before. Pirner had actually suffered from a nervous breakdown after he thought that he was losing his hearing. This song came out of that time, but he couldn't seem to crack it lyrically. Apparently, Pirner had been fascinated by trains since he was a kid. He used to watch Casey Jones, the American Western series about the adventures of the railroad engineer.
Now the whistle, it's Casey at the throttle of the cannonball.
Suddenly, Dave Pirner thought of using a runaway train as a metaphor for the depression that was overtaking his life. And I guess he sat down and he wrote this song in just a few minutes. It all came together. Runaway train, never going back. It ended up being the final single from the album, and it changed the band's fortunes almost overnight, with a powerful music video that ended up saving lives and cracking unsolved crimes and cases all over the world. Dave Pirner will tell you that story next in a wide-ranging interview As we go into this interview, I do want to thank our sponsor, Zenni Eyewear. Zenni, the glasses I always wear. You know, Zenni really lives up to their slogan, eyewear for everyone. When you shop at Zenni, you have so much variety, so many styles to choose from, and so many different types of frames. You know, from prescription eyewear to sunglasses to their new Blocks Plus lenses with 12 times of protection to ease fatigue and eye strain. You'll get the best prices as well. 80% off of regular retail prices. Click on our special POR link on the info button right up here or below. Here's Dave.
Long way on a one-way track.
You released Runaway Train, which was the third single off the album, but one of the best singles of 1993. Number 5 pop hit. I mean, that was probably pretty amazing. Number 5 on the Hot 100, number 13 in the alt rock charts, and number 3 on the rock charts. Number 7 in the UK, number 2 in Switzerland, New Zealand, number 4 in Germany, and number 1 in Canada. It's always like to see that, I mean, a song that truly resonates with everybody. Global song.
Seems like I should be getting somewhere, somehow.
I read that at the time that you had said the song was about depression. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I think the video had enough impact that it sort of forced me to sort of go, well, it's not about what the video's about. The video came after the song,
Right.
Which is interesting. I mean, it's an interesting part of that period of music. You'll associate a song with a visual, and it didn't happen before that, and I don't know if it happens anymore.
Neither here nor there.
Yeah, like I was telling you, I was going through a bad bout, and just wondering if life was worth living, you know. So, it was not the best time of my life, and the song helped me sort of work through it and kind of trying to explain how I was feeling, I suppose.
Can you help me remember how to smile?
And I understand why people identify with it, and it makes me feel less crazy that people identify with it, and hopefully it makes them feel less crazy too, because that's kind of what's going on there. You know, it's kind of a person sort of losing his mind.
Make it somehow all seem worthwhile.
Runaway Train and using it as a depression and that metaphor is so amazing. Where did that finally hit? Because I remember reading that you said that it took a few years for you to finish the song, that lyrics, you had a refrain that was like laughing at the rain, which you thought was kind of too similar to Neil Sedaka. And you had that tune in your head, and then as soon as you have found that metaphor, it's like in one sitting it came out. Tell me about that.
I can remember seeing the piece of paper. I can remember where I wrote it in the apartment. I had a friend that I was calling a lot, and I could call her any time, and she would pick up and talk me off the edge. Ledge? Is it ledge?
Either.
I think it's ledge. So that was kind of, that began the sort of process of how you're going to get back up this spiral that you're way down in, kind of thing. Spun out of control, if you will.
How on earth did I get so jaded?
And I just needed to play the song, I guess. I mean, I was down to spending a lot of time alone and being sad and strumming an acoustic guitar. So that's what came out, I guess, at the time. That was a strange time. But you always kind of wonder if you can, you know, keep going in this capacity. Just playing music for a living is, man, it's a gift, but it's it's good work if you can get it, you know. It's full of ups and downs and heartbreaks and, you know, disasters and close calls and, you know, hopefully I'm having fun.
Well, I love some of the lyrics. I just love in the first verse where you were there like a slow torch burn. I was a key that could use a little turning.
I was a key that could use a little turning.
And then just the chorus, runaway train, never going back, wrong way on a one-way track.
Runaway train, never going.
I love the poetry of that song.
Wrong way on a one-way track.
It just says it so perfectly. And I understand that when you were doing the vocal, to kind of get comfortable with the vocal, the producer, Michael Beinhorn, that he left you alone to record with the guitarist Dan Murphy present, and that resulted in that kind of emotive vocal.
No one else can go. I know no one else.
Michael Beinhorn is a perfectionist, and there was times where I was like, man, you're kind of stepping on my groove here, you know. And then Danny would just come in and listen, and that was a little less, you know, he just didn't say anything.
Here nor there.
So I just heard that song yesterday, and I was like, wow, it sounds really different. The vocal sounds really different than how I sing it today.
Runaway train, never going back.
But, you know,
You're channeling something amazing there. I mean, it's just a great vocal.
Train and everything seems cut and dry.
yeah, I was really learning how to sing, sort of. So I hadn't really discovered that range of my voice so much, I think. And which is, you know, you start out in a punk band and you have to sing loud. Everything's screaming. I mean, whether it's necessary or not, I don't know. But basically, I started out just screaming bloody murder all the time. And that was sort of where I started going, well, maybe I should.
Runaway train, never coming back.
Try singing quietly and see how that goes. And it worked pretty good.
Like a firefly without a light.
Those lyrics really meant something when you're going through those hard times. Very
Yeah.
much a headphone song to
I
me.
know.
You know, I love to get a great pair of headphones and listen to it, and you can just hear that subtle Hammond B3 if you really listen. And that, of
Booker T.
course, Booker T. Yeah, tell us about that, man. That's amazing. Green Onions.
Bonus. Well, I mean, so you're in a place where you're spending a lot of time and money, and you know, the A&R guy, he goes, "Oh, we should get a B3 player on this. Who do you got any ideas?" And I just went, "Yeah, Booker T." And you're saying it kind of in gist, like you're just like, and it's just it's a strange and great feeling when somebody goes, "Oh, okay, we'll get Booker T. I think I can get him," you know. Like, really? So I went out to California, and he played on, I think, 5 or 6 songs.
I think it was 6 from the liner notes.
6,
but
yeah. Yeah, I was starstruck and sort of mesmerized by his playing, and it was just perfect, you know. I have a chart, one of his charts for Runaway Train, and he signed it for me. Yeah,
That's cool.
I'm a fan.
Oh, yeah.
He's great. He's really cool.
You guys played the gig at University of Minnesota, and this is before you recorded the song, and you were playing Runaway Train, and like, crowd just went wild over it.
We had, I think, 3 songs that I had just written, and me and Danny were playing acoustic. And I think that's pretty much when we sort of started doing that, just the acoustic duo thing, which me and Ryan do now. But yeah, it was Runaway Train and Black Gold and Get On Out. And I think those were the 3 songs. I don't know if we played anything else, but yeah, I remember people liked it. I can't remember who we were opening for.
My kind, you're that soldier. Gotta get on out. A little out of touch, little insane.
Well, the video, I mean, has become so famous and has had such an impact. I mean, having the photos and the names of the missing children kind of look like a public service announcement in a way. In every place that the video was released, they would edit in the photos of children from that area who were missing.
Runaway train, never going back. Wrong way.
Living proof that songs, music can save you. I read somewhere that 36 kids were in the original video and that 21 had either been reunited or safe in their family up to this point or something like that.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of numbers. And it's impossible to tell what
It's real.
is real, yeah, for sure.
One
But
particular.
yeah, we just ran into some
Yeah.
people that had a photo and they go, oh, we want to have your picture taken with us, and do you recognize this person? And I'm like, that girl's in the Runaway Train video. I'm like, yep, how's she doing? Oh, she's doing great. She has a family now and everything. So we took a picture with the girl in the picture, and
Wow.
that's crazy. And then they did a remake of it recently, which I don't know if you heard
Yeah.
about that. But just funny to listen to.
I read about this girl, Elizabeth Wiles, that she had hitchhiked to San Diego, thousands of miles or 1,000 miles away from where she came, left with her boyfriend, and then saw it on MTV and called her parents and went and saw him a couple weeks later. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
I met them.
Well, Grammy winner for Best Rock Song in '94, and it's been in pop culture in The Office and Family Guy and Sandy Wexler.
Run away and I'm never coming.
Michael?
What do you think about when your song's used in pop culture like that?
I think it's great. I'm not interested in any sort of advertising type things at all, but I like movies. You know?
Yeah.
And it's a kick. It's funny. I can't even remember. Like, I'll hear somebody will tell me, "Oh," and I'm like, "Was it good?" I mean, were they making fun of it? You know, or what? I mean, so yeah. I mean, working with Kevin Smith has been just a blast. It's really cool.
Somehow I'm neither here nor there.
Yeah, so it's great. I mean, yeah, love it.
Well, to end on that song, what are your thoughts on that now? What's your relationship with the song now? How do you feel about it this many years
We'll be playing
later?
it tonight, and it's fun to play it. We didn't play it for a while, and I thought that was the right thing to do, just because it's too easy to just play your hits or whatever. But enough people came up to me and said, you know, we drove all the way from Alaska to hear that song, and you didn't play it. And then I just felt like kind of an idiot. So I think it's three, I don't know how long it is, 3-4 minutes out of my life. So I enjoy playing it now, and I enjoy watching people react to it. You can sort of, well, except for half the crowd pulls their phones out for some reason, which I do not understand.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you see couples get closer together, or just like little things like that are nice.
Run away, but it always seems the same.
Hey, leave us a comment about Dave Pirner and Soul Asylum and this 90s masterpiece that changed the world and is still having an impact. What are your memories of this song and the changes that music went through in the early 90s? What is your take on the greatest music scenes in history? Let us know below. Let's have a great discussion. Until next time, 3 chords and the truth, my friends.